Hello and welcome to Strategic Affairs with Mark Chandler. I'm Mark and I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode. This is Episode 3, and today we're going to discuss the Iran war and what a good deal from those negotiations that are about to take place or are taking place should look like. Now, as a reminder, our overall objective is to inform you of current events that have the potential to impact U.S. national interest and national security, right? I will tell you that today's episode directly impacts our national interest, our national security, and our national economy. So I think you're going to kind of be very interested in what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to focus on always bringing you the perspective from the intelligence foundation as we work our way through this analysis and our assessments or our conclusions or what we see as the likely impact of that. I might get opinionated, and if I do, I'm going to make sure I let you know that. And I'll try to draw a distinction between what I feel is just a straight up opinion and what I feel is an informed assessment. I, again, want to focus definitely on bringing you a fact-based assessment. The Iran problem is something that I have followed for the last several years of my DoD intelligence career. It's something that I briefed almost daily. It's something that we had in-depth studies of and continue to look at this threat that was posed to the United States that actually began about 47 years ago. But without any further ado, I want to bring you right in and get on with today's episode. It's kind of ripped from the headlines out there, but it's about the war and it's about the negotiations to end that war, but on favorable terms to the United States and our national security. Now, let me just give you a little bit of setting the stage out there, because what I don't want this to be about is a debate on is the war justified? It's kind of we're past that right now. Okay, we're in the war and we need to finish it. We absolutely now need to finish what we started. And at this stage, I do not believe we're finished that. I do not believe we're to the point where we have a viable, successful diplomatic solution or military solution that will have a lasting impact for U.S., regional, global security, and safer and secure economies leading far into the future out there. So when I look at this, it's really focused down on just a few key points. But to add a little bit to the perspective that I want to bring you is you have to look at what this theocratic regime has done for the last 47 years. Responsible for thousands of American deaths, military deaths, civilian deaths, incorporate that, creating instability across the entire Middle East region, focused on destabilizing effects and spreading their version of Shia Islam via what they want to establish called the Shia Crescent across that entire region. And oh, by the way, if you think that the ongoing fighting and they're closing the Strait of Hormuz is the first time they've negatively impacted oil shipments, no, it's not the first. And if it remains and we don't get a good deal out of this, it definitely won't be the last. So here's what we need to achieve diplomatically, in my humble opinion, but based on an assessment and following the facts and looking at the historic behavior of the Islamic regime that leads Iran. First and foremost, eliminate the nuclear weapons program threat. Now, where I think we are militarily right now is we've actually probably set that program back 5 to 10 years, but we have not eliminated it completely. We have not eliminated the Islamic regime's desire to have nuclear weapons. So we have to go further into that regime and take not only that desire, but that entire capability away from them. So one of the things we have to do is get rid of that enriched uranium that they have. Some of it's buried, and I would argue that some of it's unlocated. So we have to identify and eliminate that. And whatever negotiations happen, we have to ensure that we have a strong verification and enforcement mechanism in place. And that probably entails inspectors on the ground with free access across the country at any time, unannounced, and with guaranteed security. That's something that even during the JCPOA that the Obama administration brought forth, They didn't have that. And Iran continued to play games. So we have to have firm processes in place for those verification mechanisms out there. We have to get that enriched uranium out of the country. We can't leave any of that available, and we have to eliminate their access to it. But we have to monitor them strategically. We have to keep an eye on them because if we eliminate their production capability to produce a nuclear weapon, that doesn't mean that's going to eliminate their desire or access to it. So we have to watch any alliances that they have. I would especially be cautious of North Korea and how Iran might try to work a deal to obtain a nuclear weapon. Can you imagine this conflict, how it would have evolved and how it would be shaped differently if Iran had a nuclear weapon at that time? It's very unimaginable to think of the consequences that we have right now. The second thing, we have to eliminate their missile and drone threat. Now, I know I hear the Pentagon talking about this all the time, how they've destroyed in that to an old military and intelligence guy. Words have meaning. So we have not destroyed their entire missile and drone capability. I would argue that they probably started with a few thousand more missiles and drones than we assessed at the beginning. So I'm going to tell you right now that they probably have, let's say, at least 1,000 missiles and more than 1,000 drones at their disposal to continue to conduct attacks against the Gulf states, U.S. bases there, and Israel. So we have to further degrade that. I doubt we will ever fully achieve complete elimination of their missile and drone threat, but we have to get it down to a more manageable level that they don't pose a significant threat outside of their borders out there. We then have to look at taking away this Islamic regime's ability to spread that destabilizing effect and stop spreading the Shia crescent across the Middle East. They've done that for 47 years. They've done that through all of their military capabilities, but they've then used their proxies to further spread and destabilize the Middle East. We have to stop their support. We have to stop the Lebanese Hezbollah located in Lebanon. We have to stop Hamas. We have to stop the Houthis. And we have to stop what we call the Iranian-backed Shia militia that are located primarily in Iraq, but they do have some elements still left in Syria. All of those proxies answer Iran's message and their drive to control the Middle East. So we have to eliminate that. And we further, and probably what is hitting every headline today, is stop the Islamic regime's ability to blackmail the global economy with control over the Strait of Hormuz. As I said earlier, they've done it before. If they remain in place, they'll continue to do it again. And the world will have this hanging over our heads as we move forward out there. So what destabilizing effect could Iran have in the future? We have to stop that. We have to ensure that our regional allies feel safe and secure and that threat from Iran is eliminated. So how do we do this? Well, we achieve negotiations, but Iran, they're masters at negotiation and they focus on regime survival. About the only way to ensure we can get all four of those key points accomplished is to eliminate the regime or eliminate this Islamic regime's control over Iran. Until we can do that, because I don't think you're going to get this tiger to change its stripes anytime soon, then I think you're going to have set up in a perspective that doesn't allow us safe and secure future or safe and secure stability. There's an old saying, win the battle, lose the war. In this case, I would offer that we can win the war and lose the peace. And I'm not sure that that's the legacy that I want us to leave behind. So those are some key things to think about as we look at the negotiations and how things are going to move forward and perhaps what a good deal should look like. I want to thank you for listening to today's episode. Hopefully you came away with a better understanding of the Iran situation, at least from a negotiations perspective. I know it's a very complex environment. Negotiations are already very complex, but hopefully I've made them a little bit more comprehensible. As a reminder, you can tune into Spotify to listen to more podcasts or catch us on YouTube. If you're concerned about more issues with global affairs, please reach out to our staff at CASIL, Chandler Associates for Strategy, Intelligence, and Leadership on our webpage at mark-chandler.com for more interviews and more in-depth reporting. You could also write us and request any of our services at markchandler.casil@gmail.com. And we'll be glad to let you know that we could offer some threat advisement. We could look at some threat perspectives, go out there and offer some leadership support to your staffs if you need that. If you want to learn more about the proxies that I talked about and more about Iranian destabilization throughout the Islamic regime's history, take a look at my book, The Israel-Hamas War, Making the Complex Comprehensible. It's available on Amazon. Have a good day, and thank you.